Hello, my name is Charles Stanley, and I'm a former student of Mrs. Malone. Currently, I am a third grade teacher in the Bronx, New York, and this is my fifth year teaching. I've had experience teaching third, fifth, seventh, eighth, and ninth grades. And I'm just here today to kind of talk to you a little bit about the super important nature of collaboration in the classroom amongst teachers and bringing different kind of disciplines into one classroom that evokes a kind of excitement and joy for learning. Um, as a senior in high school, I had Mrs. Malone, who at that time was Miss Harmon, and her class was by far one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had as a student. I really felt like school was pretty easy and simple up until that point where it was really just going to class, reading, answering questions, taking tests, memorizing spelling words, the usual kind of thing until I met Ms. Harmon. And that senior year of English was by far one of the most challenging experiences I've had in school, but it also was one of the most exciting times I've ever had as well. I think the biggest takeaway or the biggest moment that I remember was a group project that we did on Beowulf, which is a pretty challenging text, but it was an honors English class, so that level of complexity definitely makes sense. And she really designed a project where we had a lot of free reign and creativity to bring into the project. And we were assigned the job of reenacting a part of the story and then kind of interpreting what it means and like bigger lessons and takeaways. And that was really kind of the like guidelines of the project. It didn't have a whole lot of like requirements, and it gave us a lot of creative freedom to kind of do what we wanted to do. So my group decided to put on a play, but we kind of redesigned that play to kind of bring home the message that we thought the play was trying to give to its reader. And it was a lot of fun, and it really gave me a lot of inspiration as a teacher now to giving that kind of creative freedom to my students when having them attack things that we learn in class. And what was most interesting about that project was the fact that like we had the free reign to decide what our project would look like, and then we were allotted the time in class to kind of design, organize, and put things together. And it was by far one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. And I think that the thing that made that English class so much fun was that there was such an interesting balance between formal assessments where we actually had tests and we had to sit down and put pen to paper, but also having those experiences of being able to create and design and to kind of showcase things that we don't normally get to showcase in school. And I would say that Ms. Harmon had a lot of trust in us, and she really had high expectations in terms of what she thought we could put out and produce. And I think that, we kind of rose to that occasion. And I think that led to my own work as a teacher when I was teaching, particularly in fifth grade. I was working on a team of three where I was the math teacher, there was a science/social studies teacher, and an English teacher. And we found out that we were working together the year before that school year was going to begin. So we got together over the summer and we really decided that we wanted our curriculum to be aligned with each other and that we wanted to design quarterly projects that our students would be able to do that would bring together all the information that we've taught over a quarter together in an interesting way. And so much like my high school experience, we allowed our kids to have that same kind of creative freedom, and we created things from newspapers to pamphlets to videos and mini movies. And it really creates a long lasting impression. High school for me was 10 years ago, and the fact that Beowulf still sticks out speaks volumes to how this kind of implementation into the classroom makes a big difference. And I think that Ms. Harmon was at the time was an outside box thinker because no other teacher was doing that at that time period. But when I stepped into the classroom, being able to have this experience over multiple multiple different years and different teams, you notice how much of a difference it makes to collaborate and bond with other teachers to come up with like ideas and projects that